So we're back once again with the Portland Pirates, a team that's lost all of its players yet again, except we still have some legends here. Sassy the Sasquatch, Big Les, Mike Nolan, DVS, Tyrone, J-Rock. When it comes to defense, we're not going to see any legends here, except for a couple former stick-on-the-ice legends. But once again, all of these players right here are going to be 50 overalls. When it comes to the goaltending, we're actually in a great spot here. We still have the absolute legend in Ricky Lafleur, and then of course, as the backup, we got Eric Cartman, and as you know, he has a sweet hockey body. But this team right here clearly isn't going to be good enough to win a Stanley Cup. However, we're going to improve this team, and how are we going to do that? Through the wheel of NHL birthdays. So in a video like this, we have multiple wheels to spin. This is going to be the first one to figure out our month, and it looks like our first month is going to be September. And then the next thing we have to do is spin the wheel of birthday dates to get the actual date we're going to be working with, and it looks like it's going to be September 29th. Now, who was born on September 29th? I couldn't tell you. I'm going to tell you right now, there is only one birthday in the NHL I know, and the only reason I know it is because it aligns with my birthday. But I guess we're going to see if we land on that date. So we're on September 29th, and here's the list of players we can select from that are active NHL players. We have Kyler Yamamoto, and that's it. We only have Kyler Yamamoto. He's the only player to play in the year 2025, so I guess he's going to be joining our team here. Not the greatest first selection, but you know what? He's better than a 50 overall player, so Kyler Yamamoto, welcome to the team. So Kyler Yamamoto, welcome to the team. Currently playing for the Utah Hockey Club. Just kidding, we actually have to go to the AHL. He's signed for Utah, but he's not actually on Utah. So instead, we have to go to the Tuscan Roadrunners to find Kyler Yamamoto, 75 overall. That fall off was quick. I remember when this guy was playing alongside Leon Draisaitl, and he was a point a game player. And if you think I'm lying, no, I am not. There was one season, 2019-2020, he was on the same line as Leon Draisaitl, 11 goals, 15 assists, 26 points. Borderline a point a game here, and then just completely fell off. He is not the same guy anymore. Tough to see, but you know what? A 75 overall, it's better than what we have right now. So we've added our first player to the team. That's going to be Kyler Yamamoto. Is he going to be a difference maker for us? Probably not. In the future, he's going to be a fourth line guy. If he's anything higher than a fourth line guy, then this team's going to be in a lot of trouble. As we know, the rest of the team's still 50 overalls, but we're only a couple seasons away from maybe one win. Not competing by any means, but maybe one win. So let's go ahead, simulate the season and simulate the playoffs, because we know for a fact this team's not going to be competing. But while I do that, a quick word from today's sponsor. So I want to give a massive shout out to SeatGeek for sponsoring today's video. As we know, SeatGeek's the best place for getting tickets for your favorite sporting events and concerts. If you want to watch baseball, hockey, basketball, or even see a concert from time to time, SeatGeek's the place to do it. SeatGeek is going to be ranking every single ticket. So if you see green, you're getting a great deal. If you see red, not the greatest deal. So on top of SeatGeek being the best place to buy your tickets, I got a deal for you. If you use code SOTI at checkout, you're going to be getting $20 off your first order. So once again, I want to thank SeatGeek for sponsoring this video, and remember, code SOTI for $20 off your first order. We won a game. We won one of our first games. We beat the Calgary Flames in a shootout. In the fourth game of the season, we came out victorious. Nah, ain't no way. So after winning the fourth game of the season, there was high expectations for the Portland Pirates. We were expected to do big things after that win. We proceeded to lose every single game. Yeah, we lost 78 straight games after that. So that's a tough one. But you know what? Even though we lost 78 straight games, Kyler Yamamoto, 3 goals, 26 helpers, 29 points here. At least this team did something. Like, we won one game this season. I don't know how we won one game. Eric Cartman was the man. It wasn't even Ricky Lafleur. Is Eric Cartman the new Ricky Lafleur? Absolutely not. Nobody will ever replace Ricky Lafleur. That's just not possible. The Colorado Avalanche are Stanley Cup champions, taking down the Tampa Bay Lightning in a 7-game series. Let's go add another player because we desperately need it. So September wasn't really cooking for us. Hopefully a different month's going to give us a different result, and I feel like January is bound to give us good NHL players. Now, barring what date we get here, we could be walking away with a superstar, or we might not be walking away with too much. January 20th. Somehow, that is the day before I recorded this video. I'm currently recording this on January 21st. We got January 20th. Whose birthday was it yesterday? I don't know. So whose birthday did I completely miss? Sean Corrales, Hampus Lindholm's, Ryan Reeves. Stolarz honestly isn't that bad of a pickup here. That could be the move. We bring in Stolarz. At least we have a somewhat competent goaltender. He's probably like an 84 overall. Ryan Reeves, I have no interest in bringing you to the team. Hampus Lindholm honestly wouldn't be a bad pickup, but I think we got to bring in a goaltender like Stolarz. At least we'll have something in between the pipes for us, and honestly an 84 overall isn't the end of the world. So Anthony Stolarz is going to be a great pickup for this team, probably seen around an 84 overall. I know that's what Joseph Wall is, and you're going to be the exact same. So an 84 overall goaltender this early in the video, I can certainly live with that. That's going to be a great selection. So although the forward core is looking the same and the defensive core is going to be looking the same as well. Goaltending is getting a massive upgrade with Anthony Stolarz. Of course, Ricky Lafleur's got to be the backup here. We could potentially win 3 games this season. If we are able to win a game with Eric Hartman, Stolarz is definitely going to be able to steal 3 for us. Then again, we also can't score goals. So yeah, if you don't score goals, you definitely can't win games. Now, I guess I made a pretty good prediction. I predicted 3 wins, and we finished with exactly 3 wins. A 3-76-3 record. This team picked up 9 points this season. We'll completely ignore who was in second last because that didn't happen. Kaoru Yamamoto with 29 points this season, 3 goals, 26 assists. Since I saw who finished second last in the entire league, we are not going to look at the teams that Portland beat this season because there's a very good chance they somehow beat the St. Louis Blues. We're going to pretend that didn't happen. The New York Rangers are taking home the Stanley Cup, taking down the Seattle Kraken. So I guess Will Borgren playing on that third pairing was definitely the difference maker for the Rangers. Like, as we all know, Will Borgren, stick on the ice legend, and when he plays on your third pairing, he's going to be unstoppable. How did we get September again already? I know we're going to get some repeats in this video, but really already? Now, if we get September 29th again, that's absolutely outlandish. There's no way that should be happening. Instead, we're going to be getting September 10th. So what is September 10th going to be offering us here? Well, we're going to have a couple options. Troy Terry being one of them. You know what? He would actually be a pretty good pickup. Voronkov, Zellweger. So we're going to see multiple guys on the Anaheim Ducks. Actually, 3 players on the Anaheim Ducks were all board on the same day. That's pretty interesting. Jordan Stahl is available here, but of all these options, I'm pretty sure Troy Terry's the highest overall, so he's going to be joining the team. So Troy Terry is going to be a good sniper for the Portland Pirates. 86 overall. Him and Kaoru Yamamoto on the first line. They're going to be able to do something for us. I don't think they're going to lead us to 10 wins or 20 wins or anything. Maybe we can get 5, but even 5 I'm questioning a little bit. Like, we have 2 forwards and an 84 overall goaltender. That's not really enough to see a lot of success. So we're going to have Troy Terry and Kaoru Yamamoto on the first line together. I don't think that's really much of a surprise. I know we have some legends here on the second line. I'm talking J-Rock, Tyrone, DVS. We got Mike Nolan, Sassy, Big Les, but we got to keep these guys together. Mike Nolan, Sassy, and Big Les, when they play together, they're playing like 99 overall. Same with J-Rock, Tyrone, DVS. That's why we're not seeing any of these legends on the top line. Instead, we're going to have Rick Grimes on the first line, but you know what? I know he can step up in these big moments. Even though he's a left winger playing center, we're not going to worry about it. So when I brought Troy Terry to the team, I didn't realize he was going to be bringing the Anaheim Ducks culture with him because we were worse this season. A 3-77-2 record. We didn't win as many games. We only lost 2 overtime games this season, not 3. So yeah, we got the Anaheim Ducks culture here. That's why we're dead last in the entire league. Troy Terry, you really didn't do anything for me. 38 points here. I'm not going to lie, I was expecting a little bit more. Yeah, I understand you don't really have too much with you, but even still, 38 points? Bro, you're an 86 overall. I'm expecting more than 38 points. Also, last season, I don't recall if we looked at Stolarz' numbers. I don't think we did, but Stolarz, 3 wins, 2 OT losses, a 905 and a 478. I apologize for disrespecting you last season and not looking at your numbers. He's clearly your star on this team, and I got to give you the props. The Winnipeg Jets are Stanley Cup champions, taking down the St. Louis Blues in the conference finals. Enough seen. Let's spin the wheels again. So we've got September twice, January once. Are we going to get September again? How? How is this possible? All right, we're heading back to January. I mean, I'm not against January by any means because I feel like it's going to give us good players. January 15th. Why does that actually sound really good? I might be completely yapping here, but January 15th sounds really good. So why do I think we're going to be finding a really good player with January 15th here? Well, let's see who the active players are. We have Mason Appleton, Connor McMichael, Marty Necas, Tim Stützle. I was definitely right. There's some great options here. So we're either going with Tim Stützle or Marty Necas. I don't know who the higher overall of these 2 players are. I'm pretty sure it's Tim Stützle, but Marty Necas has been having a really good season. So with the roster updates we've had, he could be a higher overall, if not the same overall as Tim Stützle. So we got some great options. We could take Marty Necas from the Carolina Hurricanes, and he'd be a great player, 91 overall. Hard to get a better option than that, but we do have Tim Stützle available here. I don't think he's higher than a 91 overall, so I think we might be going with Marty Necas here. Tim Stützle's only 89 overall, so yeah, Marty Necas, you're going to be the guy for us. You're having an incredible season. I would love to bring you to the team. You and Troy Terry on that first line, you're going to spark his offense, and he's going to perform way better this season. So we've officially got ourselves 1 forward line. Marty Necas, Troy Terry, Kaoru Yamamoto. Truthfully, Kaoru Yamamoto is not really bringing too much to the table here, but Marty Necas and Troy Terry, they're going to be able to produce some offense. Then again, shouldn't disrespect Kaoru Yamamoto like that. What has he ever done to me? He's played some good bottom 6 minutes for me in the past, so you know what? Kaoru Yamamoto, I take that back. You're going to be a serviceable enough player for us. Now, I truly thought with the addition of Marty Necas, we would win a couple more games this season. Nope, we just lost more games in overtime. Only 2 wins once again. Portland, you got to figure it out here. There's no reason you guys should be disappointing us as much as you are. Marty Necas, 53 points. Troy Terry, you've been a complete and utter fraud since I brought you to the team, 46 points. Like, Kyler Yamamoto had 1 less point than you. He is like 10 overalls lower. He's actually 11 overalls lower to be exact. Yet he had 1 less point than you. Troy Terry has just been a complete and utter fraud since bringing him to the team. Stolarz wasn't great by any means this season, but you know what? That's not his fault. We don't have a team in front of him. We don't have any defensemen here. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea if we picked up one of those. The Winnipeg Jets are Stanley Cup champions. Let's go ahead and spin the wheels yet again and somehow land in September once again. So we've already landed in September twice. Why would we not land them again? No way. This is stupid. This is honestly stupid. September once again. How is it possible? Like, I was kidding. I was joking about landing on September once again, but yet we did it. September 1st is going to be our next date. I'm sick and tired of September. I'm contemplating removing them from the wheel. And saying that, if I get an absolute superstar right here, I'm not going to be against it. I love September. September's amazing. Nathan MacKinnon, welcome to the team. So Nathan MacKinnon, you're a great man. You're an incredible man. And now you're going to be the captain of this Portland Pirates team. 96 overall Nathan MacKinnon. I couldn't pass him up. This is an absolute no-brainer. One of the best in the game. We're in a great spot now. I mean, I shouldn't really say that. Like, we do still have a lot of 50 overall players. So we're not in a great spot. We're not even in a good spot here. Now, Nathan MacKinnon, he's looking to be a game changer for this team. Maybe he can finally spark the offense from Troy Terry, and maybe this man can finally do something. However, there is one glaring issue with this team. We still don't have any defensemen. We have not brought a single defenseman to the team, so as long as that lasts, we're not going to be keeping the puck out of our net. Therefore, we're not going to be winning games. So with the help of Nathan MacKinnon, this team actually saw a couple more wins. A 769-6 record. At least we're getting some wins here, and a lot of those wins are coming in regulation, so you love to see that. And of course, with this team seeing success, Nathan MacKinnon's going to lead the way. 68 points. Marty Necas, 68 points. Troy Terry, I completely give up with you. I gave you Nathan MacKinnon and Marty Necas, and you still can't really do anything here. Kyler Yamamoto, 26 points, but no, it doesn't make any sense. Nathan MacKinnon is on this team. Stolarz got a show out this season. Bro is elite, but come on, man. Nathan MacKinnon and Marty Necas, and you still can't even pick up 50 points. There is no excuse for that. Carolina Hurricanes are Stanley Cup champions, but Troy Terry, you gotta figure it out, my guy. You gotta do something to help yourself. Alright, all I'm asking is don't land on January. Whatever you do, do not land on January. Thank you. We're finally getting a different month here. We got November. So we got November, and of course, there's 30 different options we could land on. It looks like we're going to be landing on number 23. So November 23rd, what are you going to be giving us? I feel like November 23rd has pretty good potential. Like, I feel like we could be walking away with a pretty solid player here. Walker Duehr's available. Garnet Hathaway's available. Nick Lindstrom, I guess, is available. And technically, Gabriel Landeskog is available, because he technically is still an active player. So yeah, we're going to go with Gabriel Landeskog. So Gabriel Landeskog, you haven't played for a very long time. However, in NHL 25, you're still decent enough overall. Like, you're an 85 overall. And 85 overall would be great for us, especially considering you're going to play first line minutes here. Troy Terry, you're being sent down to the second line. You haven't performed, so I'm not keeping you here anymore. Well, I mean, I'm technically keeping you here as in the team, but not here as in the first line. Because yeah, I'll definitely take 86 overall Troy Terry over a bunch of 50 overall players. Alright, so we brought Gabriel Landeskog to the team. We got 2 members of the Colorado Avalanche. Marty Necas is also going to play on the top line. When it comes to the second line, Troy Terry, Yamamoto, I have incredibly low expectations. Also, if you're wondering where Sassy the Sasquatch went, he's doing a Sassy Foods run. He's a bit busy right now, but don't worry, he'll be back pretty soon. Okay, this season was very interesting because the Ottawa Senators and Detroit Red Wings finished 9th and 10th in the entire league, and both of these teams missed the playoffs. That's how good the Atlantic Division was. Granted, Ottawa only won 42 games, and Detroit only won 43, so it's not like they were amazing by any means. Anyways, when it comes to the Portland Pirates, obviously we're going to be a terrible team. A 770-5 record, 19 points this season. I guess we're moving in the right direction. And why do I know that? Well, Nathan MacKinnon had 92 points. We finally had a point-a-game scorer. Marty Necas, 74 points. Gabriel Landeskog, 65. And Troy Terry, who's on the second line now, playing with Kyler Yamamoto in a 50 overall, had 43 points. Last season, when he played with Nathan MacKinnon and Marty Necas, how many points did he have? Didn't he have like 48 or something? You move down to the second line and you're playing with worse players, yet you're basically producing the exact same. It doesn't make sense. Stolarz, 7 wins, 1 shot, a 905 and a 438. Those numbers still aren't good enough. Granted, I haven't put a single defenseman in front of you, and that probably wouldn't hurt one of these days. Philadelphia Flyers somehow won the Stanley Cup. Let's go bring in a defenseman. We desperately need some defensive help. Now, I'm praying we don't get September. I really don't want to get September. We're going to begin February, and that's going to change things up here. Now, I do have every date on here, so that includes the 29th, 30th, and 31st, so hopefully we don't get one of those. We're going to begin the 25th. So luckily, we're getting a day that actually exists. Now, February 25th fifth, it has a handful of players, 41 different players we could select from, but how many of those players are active? Well, Brock Besser's certainly an active player, Joel Farabee's an active player, and so is Logan Thompson. Now this is a tougher decision than you might think, because if we bring in Logan Thompson, then we have both of our goaltenders. Realistically, how difficult is it going to be for us to get two goaltenders? We have an option to get two great forwards, Joel Farabee, Brock Besser. I'm going to be honest, I don't care how much we need a backup goaltender. Brock Besser's my guy, and I can't pass up on my guy. So Brock Besser, welcome to the team. This is a no-brainer for me. So I just mentioned how Brock Besser's my guy, and I definitely wouldn't pass up on him, even though I contemplated passing up on him. Like, I was seriously considering taking Logan Thompson, but instead we're going with my man Brock Besser. He's an 87 overall sniper. He's going to be a great player to play on the first line, because yes, he's playing on the first line. Marty Necas, you're going to man that second line for us. Now, Brock Besser, you're a legend and all, and I'm happy you're on this team, but Sassy the Sasquatch is back. He's back from his Sassy Foods run. He made a couple tripper snippers, but you know what? He's ready to roll now. He's ready to play some big third line minutes for us. The defense is still in a really bad spot. Like, we are yet to bring in one defenseman. So no matter who's available with our next wheel spin, we're bringing a defenseman to the team, unless it's like Connor McDavid or something. Yeah, I'm not passing up on Connor McDavid. I'm not passing up on Austin Matthews. But yeah, we could use a really good defenseman here. I don't know why I even say stuff like, oh, no matter who's available, I'm going to pass up on them so I can get a defenseman. That's a complete and utter lie, and we all know it. If Connor McDavid was available, I would sell off every defenseman we could bring to the team in order to get Connor McDavid, and I would do it in a heartbeat. So with the addition of Brock Besser, the Portland Pirates are going to do something I didn't expect this season. Over 10 wins, an 11-69-2 record. I don't know if it was the Brock Besser factor or the fact that Sassy the Sasquatch is back. Both of them are incredibly valuable. Nathan McKinnon, 76 points. Surprised he wasn't a point a game this season. Brock Besser, 65. Marty Necas, 60. Gabriel Landeskog, 53. And Troy Terry, 42 points from you. 21 goals, 21 assists. How were you worse? I gave you Gabriel Landeskog. You actually have a bit of help here. Nah, Troy Terry is one guy I will just never understand. Stolarz, 11 wins this season. That's a career high for you. Well, career high with the Portland Pirates, I should say, at 903 and a 424. This team's still a long ways away from winning a Stanley Cup, but you know what would help? A defenseman. So let's go get one. Then again, I don't know why I'm acting like I get to choose who we bring to the team. We have to choose a player from March. And then what date in March? Well, that's going to factor into what player we're going to add. Like, if I land on March 1st and there's no defenseman born on March 1st, what do I do then? We're going to be getting March 30th, so hopefully there's a defenseman born on that date. So we're in desperate need of a defenseman. Hopefully March 30th is going to be given that to us. I do see some goaltenders we could potentially add to the team. Are they going to be good goalies? I'm not too sure yet. Jet Greaves, not really the guy I'm looking at here. Rudder McGroarty, not really the guy I'm looking at. Mark-Edward Vlasic, I think it might be you. You or Zamula. I mean, Slafkovsky isn't a terrible selection here, but we could really use defensemen. So Mark-Edward Vlasic, Zamula, you guys are probably going to be the answers. I originally thought we were going to be bringing a goaltender to the team because I saw Ty Conklin's numbers, and I was thinking if that's an active player, they're going to be somewhat respectable for this team, but I guess not. Now, before we even look at those defensemen, what overall was Slafkovsky? Because isn't he like an 86 or something? Okay, he's only an 85. I'm not bringing Slafkovsky to the team. I'm going to pass up on him. Mark-Edward Vlasic, what overall are you? I think you're like an 82 or something. Are you really lower than that? Okay, Mark-Edward Vlasic is only an 80 overall. Granted, bro is what, 39 at this point? He's clearly not the player he used to be. He's 37. So yeah, he's not really an elite talent for us. So Mula, I believe you're an 82 overall. I am completely guessing on overalls at this point. So Mula's an 82, and he's going to be the first defenseman we bring to the team. Alright, so although the forward core is going to be looking the exact same, we can finally celebrate having a defenseman. So Mula, an 82 overall. Yeah, he's not a superstar by any means, but he's going to be a serviceable defenseman for us, and we can definitely work with him. Now, this was a big season for the Portland Pirates. With Zamula on the team, the offense is going to be flying. A 16-58-8 record, and all of this is because of Zamula. His help on the back end is going to be helping this team a ton. Because Zamula's not only playing great defense, as I mentioned earlier, he's sparking the offense. Nathan McKinnon, 54 goals, 48 assists, 102 points. Marty Necas, 81. Brock Besser, 75. Gabriel Landeskog, 64. We're going to ignore Troy Terry. Zamula, 26 points, 7 goals, 19 assists. He was playing his role on this team, and he was a big-time performer. However, one defenseman is just not going to be enough here. Shout out to the legend in Ricky Lafleur, finally picking up his first win. This took quite a long time for Ricky Lafleur to see some success, but you know what? It was only a matter of time before that happened. We believe in Ricky Lafleur here. He's an absolute superstar. The Colorado Avalanche Stanley Cup champions yet again, but that's not going to be Colorado for too much longer. Portland's going to catch up once they get a couple defensemen. Now, any defenseman would help this team, but I would really like someone like Cale Makar, Quinn Hughes. How did we get January? You know what? We just got to live with it. The fact that we've gotten September and January this many times is beyond ridiculous. we're going to be getting January 6th. That is an incredibly questionable date. Alright, so we landed on January 6th. We're not going to talk too much about that date. We're just going to see who's an option here. So who do we have to choose from? We got Brett Kulak, we got Jack McBain, we got Protus, we got Romanov. Now this is certainly not the greatest day to be born on for multiple reasons. I'm talking players and I'm talking events that have happened. But I think we're probably going to go with a guy like Alexander Romanov. So Alexander Romanov, you're an 83 overall, and honestly that wouldn't be that bad of a pickup for us. You'd be a good defenseman, you and Zamula on the top line. It would add a bunch of support that we don't have, so that's what we're going to go with. So we finally got ourselves a first defensive pairing, Romanov and Zamula. Now these guys might not be superstars, but at least they're defensemen, and we're just going to take what we can get at this point. So now that we have a defensive pairing, you're probably thinking 20, 25 wins. We got 15. We were worse than last season. How is that possible? I don't know. Do not ask me. Like, it literally makes zero sense here. The entire forward core was atrocious besides Nathan McKinnon. Troy Terry, 45 points. Bro is an absolute fraud. I don't even hate Troy Terry, but I hate how he's performing so far with me because he's actually been atrocious. Stolarz, 15 wins, 1 shutout, a 906 and a 386. So he finally has a goals against below 4. So clearly the defense is helping here, but the offense was just so incredibly bad this season it didn't really matter. The Winnipeg Jets are Stanley Cup champions yet again, but can we please add a superstar defenseman to the team? We've added 2 good defensemen so far, but we need a superstar. Like, I need a Cale Makar, I need a Quinn Hughes. I'll even take a Charlie McAvoy. This is beyond ridiculous. Like, this is actually getting stupid. If we land on a repeat date, then I don't even know what we're going to do. We might just have to reset here. We're getting January 3rd. January 3rd better have a defenseman. I don't think we land on January 3rd, but maybe we have. Who knows? No, like, if we get a repeat date with all the options available, I think we just have to erase the entire team we have. We got to restart from the very beginning. It's just ridiculous. It's so incredibly ridiculous. Players born on January 3rd, not great by any means. Like, actually incredibly bad. So I guess we're going to go with Ryan Poehling here. There's not really any other better option. So Poehling, you're going to be joining the team here. I'm not really expecting you to do too much, considering there wasn't really that great of options available. What is your overall? You're an 80 overall. Oh boy. There are way better options than 80 overall, but you know what? I guess we have to live with it. I mean, there wasn't really better options than 80 overall. Bordelou was another option, but he's not really going to be helping this team too much. So yeah, Ryan Poehling, didn't expect to see you on the team today, but you know what? You got to play some good bottom 6 minutes for me. So Poehling, I said you were going to play some bottom 6 minutes, but why would you do that? I need you playing over Kyle Yamamoto. That wouldn't make any sense. Why would I want Kyle Yamamoto, who's a 75 overall, playing over you? That just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Now, although we've added 10 players to the team, we're yet to hit that 20 win milestone yet. At 18-16-4 record, we're getting incredibly close though, just 2 wins away. You know what would make the difference? A superstar defenseman. If only we could get one of those. You know what also would help? Troy Terry not playing like garbage. Like, respectfully, Troy Terry, I need you to do something from here. Poehling had 37 points. You had 43. You're an 86 overall with 3 X factors. He's an 80 overall with 0. There's a bit of a difference between these 2 players right here, but right now we're not noticing it. Kyle Yamamoto, you had 46 points playing on the 3rd line. That didn't just happen. You didn't just have more points than Troy Terry and Poehling, and you're a 75 overall. Kyle Yamamoto, no more disrespect sent towards you. You are a stick on the ice legend because of a performance like this. Meanwhile, Ricky Lafleur, you got 5 wins this season. Stolarz, you were really bad. We would have cracked 20 wins if Stolarz was just slightly better, but he decided to play terrible this season, so here we are with 18 wins. The team's got to get their problems sorted out here. We got to step up in these big time games. The Toronto Maple Leafs are Stanley Cup champions. Portland, you got to get it together. Now, are we about to witness the stupidest thing of all time and land on January? No, we're not doing this. Nope, we're not landing on September either. You know what? Things are being changed here. January and September, you're removed from the wheel. Luckily, we're landing on February, but we're done with January and we're done with September. This is getting beyond ridiculous. Where are they? September, you are gone. January, you are gone. We landed on February, but I am sick and tired of this. Between those 2 months right there, that's basically half of our selections. That's ridiculous. But yeah, we landed on February. Now, similar to the last time we got February, I really hope we don't land on the 29th, 30th, or 31st. I mean, I guess we could land on the 29th. Like, there probably is one active NHL player born on the 29th, but we're not going to worry about it. We got February 22nd. So February 22nd, are you going to be giving us an absolute superstar here? You better, because we need a superstar. Now, folks, we got the opposite of a superstar here. Samsonov might be our best option. That scares me a little bit. Now, though Samsonov might be our best option here, do I want to bring him to be our backup goaltender? Because what are we going to be looking at with Samsonov? Like an 82 overall probably. I don't really want an 82 overall backup here. I'd rather in the future Stolarz become our backup. So what does that mean? Well, that means Delorier is going to be join the team. Nicolas Delorier, that's what we're going to be walking away with. And what overall is he? Yeah, we're going to pretend this selection didn't happen. Now, I'm not going to lie, I am a little bit concerned in the fact that we've almost completed 75% of our forward core. Like, Kyler Yamamoto, Delorier, and Paling is going to be our fourth line in the future. That doesn't give me a lot of confidence, I'm going to be honest. So unless we start bringing superstars to the team, we're going to be in a bad situation. Now, if I were to tell you Delorier didn't completely save our team, would you be surprised? Absolutely not. Like, is this really surprised that we only won 16 games? Delorier is certainly not going to be the answer for us. Nathan McKinnon, you did what you could this season. But yeah, these numbers, we don't have to discuss them any further. Troy Terry had 28 points. You had 28 points. Bro, you are awful. You are beyond awful. You are the worst player on this team. Delorier's better than you. Paling's better than you. Kyler Yamamoto's better. Everybody's better than Troy Terry right now. Troy Terry has just been a complete and utter fraud. And why is that? Because he brought the Anaheim Ducks culture with him. That's the main problem here. We have the Anaheim Ducks culture now. So we got to change that up. But luckily, we don't have to worry about getting January, and we don't have to worry about getting September. We're going to switch things up here. We're getting May. This is the first time we've gotten May. I'm happy it's something new. So we got May, but we don't know the date yet. What's it going to be? Well, it's looking like it's going to be May 23rd. So we got ourselves May 23rd. That's going to change things up a little bit here. Not too much, though. We need a superstar if we really want to change things up. Are we going to be getting that from May 23rd? Unfortunately not. Emberson, Harkins, Lindell. That's what we have to choose from. Honestly, though, Lindell's actually not that bad of a pickup here. Like, he can play some good defensive minutes for us. So we're picking up Lindell from the Dallas Stars. And actually, this is a better selection than I realized. 86 overall Lindell. He's going to be our best defenseman here. He might not be a superstar, but he's pretty solid. Like, he's an 86 overall. It's not like we're adding an 80 overall Delorier to the team or anything. And you know what? It could be even worse. Like, we could be adding an 86 overall Troy Terry to the team. Yeah, I certainly rather have Delorier over him. So Lundell's now going to be our top defenseman, sitting at an 86 overall. However, we could use an offensive defenseman here, like a true offensive defenseman to lead the offense for the defense. We don't really have that quite yet, but Lindell's a great step in the right direction. Alright, so I don't think we have to look at stats here. Nathan McKinnon was less than a point a game. I feel like that basically just sums up everything this season. The Rangers are Stanley Cup champions. Let's spin the wheels. No, like seriously, how in the world was Nathan McKinnon below a point a game? That's ridiculous. This is also ridiculous. Getting February once again. Is February gonna have to be removed from the wheel as well? Like seriously, we haven't got June, we haven't got July, we haven't got August. I don't even think we've got October yet. We got ourselves February 28th. Let's hope there's a superstar I don't know about. So here's the options we're gonna get for February 28th. Darren Radish, Giovanni Smith, and Jacob Verana. Yikes. That's all I can say about that. Alright, so out of these three options, we're just gonna go with Darren Radish because he would be a good enough defenseman for us. He could play some third pairing minutes. But the problem is he's actually not gonna play on the third pairing. He's gonna be forced to play on the second. He actually might be a top defenseman for us. The fact that Darren Radish is probably going to play some top pairing minutes scares me a little bit. Actually, not a little bit. It scares me a lot. We need a superstar here. Lindell was a good enough start, but now we need a superstar on the right side. Now, although we're two defensemen away from completing this defensive core, it doesn't mean we're going to be completing a good defensive core. It just means we're not going to have any 50 overall players. Because yeah, an 83, 82, and an 83, that's definitely not the best defensive core in the world. Now, Darren Radish, I wasn't familiar with your game. I didn't realize you were him because we finished second last in the entire league, a 31, 44, and 7 record just because of Darren Radish. Darren Radish completely turned this team around. We were averaging 3.29 goals per game. If we just had a somewhat competent defense, we might have made the playoffs. Because looking at our offense compared to the entire league, we were actually one of the better offensive teams. We were just really bad at defense. So once we improve the defense here, this team's going to be making the postseason. Never expected Darren Radish to be the difference maker. Troy Terry had 62 points. Round of applause for Troy Terry. Bro actually didn't play like complete and utter garbage. I gotta give respect where respect is due. Troy Terry showing up in these big moments, and so is Stolarz. 26 wins, 2 shots, a 901 and a 373. If we continue to improve like this, it's only a matter of time before we win a Stanley Cup. However, we gotta add some more players, so let's go do that. Now, if you give me February again, I'm removing it from the wheel. February is gone. No, like this is actually ridiculous. There is no way that between January, February, and September, that is basically our entire team. That just doesn't seem right. So let's go ahead and spin the wheel. We're going to land on May. I'm predicting it. We were very close to May, but of course we're going to get November, because why wouldn't we get November? We've only landed on it once. Like we have April, June, July, August. We haven't landed on any of those. We haven't landed on October, but nope. Let's land on January 17 times, September 17 times, February 18 times, and then November a handful of times. Like I could have just removed every month after each wheel spin, but you know what? I didn't expect something like this to happen. I didn't think we would just land on 3 months for the entire entirety of this video, we got November 3rd. Why do I feel like we already landed on November 3rd? Now, I don't believe we've landed on November 3rd, but I think we have used the 3rd before. There is no active players from November 3rd in the NHL. One of the most recent players would be Mason Shaw, and then it's Pecorine. I would love to have Pecorine on this team. Unfortunately, he's not an active player. Now, I'm going to be completely honest, I didn't expect we would ever land on a date that doesn't have any active NHL players. Hopefully, July doesn't give us the same result. And then again, if you really think about it, there's 366 possible birthdays. I could definitely see one date not having any active NHL players. And if you're saying, well, there's 365 days in a year, remember to count the leap year, buddy. Also, we got July 27th. So is July 27th going to give us an all-star? I really hope it is. We need an all-star on this team. Niels Lundqvist is not an all-star. Malinsky is not an all-star. Carson Soucy is not an all-star. So who is a higher overall between Carson Soucy and Niels Lundqvist? I think it's Carson Soucy. I guess we're going to find out pretty quick. So Carson Soucy, I'm very confident you're the highest overall of basically our two options here. But Niels Lundqvist, I will check in on you. You're only a 79 overall. So yeah, Niels Lundqvist is not going to join the team. We're getting Carson Soucy. Now Carson Soucy, I'm kind of hoping you're at least like an 83 overall or something. I don't think you're going to be that. You're an 81. All right, I guess we have to live with Carson Soucy. All right, so this defense is showing a lot of something. Yeah, Carson Soucy, defensive defenseman. Samula, two-way defender. Romanov, two-way defender. Darren Radish, two-way defender. Lindell, defensive defenseman. We have defense here, and that's about all I can say about this defense right here. So I don't think it's really too much of a surprise with the addition of Carson Soucy. We're not seeing that much more success this season. However, we were third last in the entire league. Technically, we were tied with Columbus for second last, but we're not going to view it that way. Also, the Anaheim Ducks, I'm not surprised you guys are frauds. Over the past 5 years, I've watched this Anaheim Ducks team try to rebuild, and the operative word is try, and they're not trying very hard, because I'm almost convinced at this point, within 5 years, this team's going to be back at square one. There's going to be so many players unhappy there, they're going to want out, they're going to trade a couple of the young guys away who haven't developed, because they did an incredibly poor job developing those players. Yeah, it's just a dumpster fire over there in Anaheim. Luckily, we don't have a dumpster fire here, because Ricky Lafleur is picking up 8 wins this season. 8 wins for the big man, Ricky Lafleur. He's really a special player. The Winnipeg Jets are Stanley Cup champions. But let's go ahead and add some more players, and ideally not a defenseman that's an 83 overall or lower. So we got to go into this with a completely different mentality. We know for a fact we're getting a great player here. October is going to give us a superstar. We have to go into this with a positive attitude. We know we're going to get a great player. October 30th is going to give us a generational talent. We just have to be incredibly positive. If we're incredibly positive, we're getting a generational talent. Cale Makar, welcome to the team. That's going to be our third player from the Colorado Avalanche. Artemi Panarin's also an option though. This is a really good birth date. October 30th, Tage Thompson, Artemi Panarin, Sam Montembeault, that's actually not too bad either. Cale Makar, 3 incredible options. I don't know who we go with here. Just kidding, we're bringing in Cale Makar. We've been looking for a guy like Cale Makar for a long time now. So we've been waiting for a player like Cale Makar for a long time now, but we're finally getting him. 95 overall Cale Makar. He's joined the team. He's our number 1 defenseman, and we finally got an offensive defenseman. The defense is set now. I believe in the defense we have. Yeah, the bottom 2 pairings aren't the best in the world, but we have Cale Makar and we have Lindell, and that's going to be good enough for us. So our defense was a weak spot for a long time, but now that Cale Makar is on the team, I view it differently. I don't think our defense is nearly as bad now. However, is this going to be a good enough defense to win us a Stanley Cup? I don't think so, but you know what? I guess we'll have to wait and see. Now, with the addition of Cale Makar, I don't know why I expected us to be significantly better. Like, we're still not that good of a team. Our bottom 6 is really bad. Even our second line isn't the greatest in the world. We don't have a backup goaltender, so 32 wins really shouldn't surprise anyone here. Like, this is probably what should be expected from this team right here. Nathan McKinnon, 108 points. Brock Besser, 73. Murray Natchez, 73. The scoring on this team isn't a problem. It's keeping pucks out of our own net. Stolarz, 25 wins, a 900 save percentage, and a 347. There's your issue right there. So yeah, we got to improve the defense on this team. When I say we have to improve the defense, I mean we have to make the bottom 6 better, so those guys play better defense, because yeah, we just have too many 50 overalls on this team still. So we have too many 50 overalls, but don't worry, there's a way we can fix that. It's spinning this wheel right here. We're going to be landing on June. Now, barring what date we get, we could be walking away with a superstar, or maybe not so much of a superstar. June 14th, what is that going to be giving us? So when it comes to June 14th, there's not too many NHL players that were born on this day, and you know what? There's not really that many good NHL players born on this day. Parker Kelly, Eric Robertson, you guys are our 2 options. Oh boy. Now I'm assuming Eric Robertson's probably the highest overall of these 2 players. He's having a really good season so far. So what's his overall going to be sitting at? Only an 82? I feel like Eric Robertson should be slightly higher than that based on the way he's been playing this season. But then then again, let's look at his past track record here. So Eric Robinson, welcome to the team. You're only an 82 overall, but you might end up playing some top 6 minutes for us, and that kind of scares me. So we're 4 players away from completing this team, and yeah, that's not a great sign considering this is what our third line looks like right now. We need a bunch of really good players when it comes to the forward core. I'm not even talking like 90 overalls. If we could walk away with 385 overalls to round the forward core, we'd be in a great spot. The defense is already set, but we do need a backup goaltender or even a new starting goaltender. Stolarz has to be the backup for us. I'm perfectly fine with that. So Eric Robinson, I wasn't familiar with your game. 27th in the entire league, a 37-41-4 record, but in a season like this, you have to apologize to Nathan MacKinnon. 60 goals, 61 helpers, 121 points. Cale Makar, 91 points. With those two guys right there, we still couldn't get into the postseason. And why is that? Well, it's because Ricky Lafleur let us down. Out of all players, Ricky Lafleur, I need you to pick up at least one win. The fact that you didn't have a single win this season is actually very surprising because I've seen you win with less. Ricky Lafleur has won with significantly less, but when he has this team in front of him, he can't pick up a win? Ridiculous. Like, we have all the pieces here except the fourth line and a backup goaltender. If August can give that to us, that's going to change things. Then again, August could just give us a 75 overall. You really never know what you're going to get here. August 21st. That seems like a really good birth date. I don't know why. Like, August 21st, I see the potential. I see the potential in a birthday like that, and I just feel like we're going to get a great player here. So when it comes to players we could bring to the team, I was absolutely yapping. Jet Luchenko is the only guy that's played in 2025. So this is how you know that we're in the absolute trenches. We have to go to the OHL to find this player. We have to go to the Gulf Storm to find Jet Luchenko, 75 overall. Not gonna lie, the fact that he's the same overall as Kyle Yamamoto, kind of wild. Like, that just seems incredibly disrespectful, but you know what? It's the way she goes. So welcome to the team, Jet Luchenko. We are in the trenches. Let's get this season over with quick. Yeah, the fact that Jet Luchenko was our only option. It's not like he was our best option. He was literally our only option. He's the only active player that was born on that date. Now, Jet Luchenko, I gotta take all the disrespect back. I was not familiar with your game. I did not realize you were this much of a game changer. We just about made the playoffs. A 44-35-3 record, and the only reason we didn't make it is because the Nashville Predators held the last wildcard spot. We missed by 2 points. Jet Luchenko, I apologize. I did not realize you were him. I did not realize you were that guy. I didn't realize you were absolutely elite like that. Eric Robinson, it also helped that you had 61 points this year and were absolutely locked in. So yeah, Troy Terry, somehow you were being outscored by multiple players. Paling was only 1 point behind you. Eric Robinson had significantly more points, and he's an 82 overall. So Troy Terry is the worst 86 overall of all time. We were 1 win away. We were 1 win away from the postseason. Stolarz was great for us. Ricky Lafleur was an absolute stud. Meanwhile, the Nashville Predators won the Stanley Cup. So maybe that team was actually legit. Gotta give respect where respect is due. Those boys locked in. But it's good to see that we're not actually that far off. We're not too far away from winning ourselves a Stanley Cup. We're gonna be landing on June once again. Now, I will say right now, if we land on June with our very next spin, June will be removed from the wheel because we're not dealing with that. We got June 4th. You better either give me a superstar goaltender or a really good forward. Like, I don't even need a superstar forward. I just need a really good forward. And are you going to give me that? Well, Jonathan Huberdeau, I can certainly work with that. Jonathan Huberdeau is going to be brought to the team. He's a serviceable enough player for us. So Jonathan Huberdeau, you're going to be a great upgrade for the team. We're finally going to have a competent left winger on our second line. The only problem is we have too many playmakers here. We don't need more playmakers. I could really use a power forward or something. But then again, maybe Jonathan Huberdeau can unlock Troy Terry's scoring, and maybe that's going to turn this team around. So we're 2 players away from completing this team with the addition of Jonathan Huberdeau. He's going to play some second line minutes with Marty Natchez and Troy Terry. Are we better off doing this? This actually might be better for us. Nathan MacKinnon does score quite a few goals, so maybe if Huberdeau is the primary playmaker for these two guys here, we'll see a lot of success. And then Marty Natchez is going to have Gabriel Landeskog and Troy Terry out of side. We're going to try this for this season. We'll see what happens. Defensively, I feel like we're good enough to get into the postseason. I mean, we only missed by 2 points last season, so with the addition of Huberdeau, we should be able to get in. So with the addition of Jonathan Huberdeau, I was sure this team was going to make the postseason. Nope, we got worse. Like, a lot worse. 23rd in the entire league, a 38-35-9 record. We're going to completely ignore this season. We're hoping we can find a superstar goaltender with this next birthday because we need one here. Stolarz, you're not going to be good enough. You're a great goaltender and all, but you're not good enough. But you also never know. Once we get rid of our final 50 overall in the forward core, that might be enough for us to get into the postseason. And then after that, the boys just have to perform form. Until then, though, we might as well just spin the wheel and see what we're going to get here. It looks like we're going to be landing on December. So December should have some pretty solid NHL players. No, I think later in December would give us better players. So the 19th is actually a pretty good selection. So what is my logic for the later dates in December having better players? There is no logic. I just have a feeling. Is that feeling going to be correct? Well, I guess we're about to find out. Stick on the ice legend Will Borgren. That's who we're bringing to the team. Will Borgren. Brad Lambert, you're not ready to jump to the NHL quite yet. I mean, technically you are an active player, so I could add you, but nah, I want Will Borgren. You know what? After consideration, Will Borgren, you're a stick on the ice legend. I really want to bring you to the team. However, we are missing one forward here, and I feel like it doesn't make sense for us to add a defenseman and then move a defenseman to our forward slot. So with that being said, that means we're going to bring Brad Lambert to the team. He's only a 74 overall. He's going to play some bottom 6 minutes, but yeah, we got to complete the forward core here before we start adding other defensemen. It doesn't seem right to add a defenseman and then move a defenseman to play forward minutes for us. That almost seems like cheating. So yeah, Brad Lambert, you're going to be the next selection. Alright, so last season having Jonathan Huberdeau on the first line clearly wasn't the right move, so Linus Cogg's going back up to the first line. The bottom 6, yeah, this is an atrocious bottom 6. We have two 75s and a 74 on the fourth line. If that doesn't explain this entire team in a nutshell, I don't know what will. The defense still not looking the greatest in the world. Goaltending could look a lot better. We're still missing one goalie here, so hopefully the next goaltender we bring in is going to be like Vasilevsky or something. So the Portland Pirates have to make a decision here. Are we getting better or are we getting worse? Because the past 2 seasons we've gotten worse after being 2 points out of making the playoffs. The offense took a massive step back this season. The defense was even worse. Everything about this team was just bad. Except Eric Robinson. He was actually pretty solid this season. As a third line guy picking up 56 points, I'll definitely take it. Goaltending wise, Stolarz, you weren't good enough. Ricky Lafleur, you weren't that good either. Let's bring in a subpar backup, maybe even an all-star goalie, and I believe that will change everything for this team. I say that acting like we don't have 75 overalls on our fourth line. Like our fourth line is basically non-existent. So we've landed on March, but the thing is we need a goaltender. So we're going to keep on spinning this wheel until we find a goaltender. March 17th, hopefully there's a goalie there. So we filled out all the forward spots. We filled up all the defensive slots. So what we need is a goalie here. Unfortunately, there is no goalies, so we got to spin the wheel again. Now what I'm going to do is I'm not going to show you every single wheel spin. I'm just going to show you the one that gets us a goalie. So hopefully that's going to be July 30th because that's what we're landing on. And honestly, I don't want to be spinning this wheel for 10 hours. So we could really use a goaltender here, like an elite goaltender. And guys, we got an elite goaltender. Joel Hofer, welcome to the team. An absolute game changer. Bringing in a guy like Joel Hofer, he's going to bring in that St. Louis Blues culture, and that's going to override the Anaheim Ducks culture that Troy Terry brought in. We're Stanley Cup bound. Jesper Bratt would have also been a very nice acquisition, but instead we got to go with Joel Hofer. Even Dylan Larkin would have been really good, but Joel Hofer, he's the guy we're walking away with. So the St. Louis Blues, of course, are always going to give us an incredible player, and who's that incredible player? Well, it's the absolute legend in Joel Hofer, 82 overall. So we finally have a tandem here. We should be able to sneak into the wild card from here on out. Like Ricky Lafleur is not going to be losing those additional games for us. Joel Hofer, of course, is going to win them, so we should be postseason bound. So we've finally gotten rid of every 50 overall. Nathan McKinnon, Landeskog, Brock Besser on the top line, Troy Terry, Murray Natchez, Huberdeau on the second. The bottom 6 is still in a terrible position. Luckily, we do have Cale Makar to lead the defense here, so this isn't a complete disaster, although it could look a lot better. And then in between the pipes, Stolarz is still going to be our starter, but Joel Hofer is going to be backing him up. With Joel Hofer securing those extra wins, I believe we should be able to sneak into the postseason by being a wild card or something, but I don't see us being a top 5 team or anything. Now, we did even better than a wild card spot this season, 9th in the entire league, a 44, 32-6 record, but we have to thank Nathan McKinnon for this. He had 119 points. We've seen McKinnon put up more points than that before, but I don't think we've seen him put up more than 68 goals. 68 goals, 51 helpers for 119 points. Brock Besser, 30 goals, 58 assists for 88 points. Cale Makar was great. We were great throughout the entire lineup, and then when it comes to goaltending, how'd the goaltending look on this team? Well, Stolarz, 35 wins, 3 shots, a 910 to 282. You stepped up in these big time moments, and you stepped up when we needed you to. Joel Hofer, on the other hand, we're just going to pretend his numbers didn't happen, and we're not even going to recognize them. Although we finished 9th in the entire league, we do have a really tough matchup here in the first round. We got the Colorado Avalanche. So Colorado is going to be no easy task for the Portland Pirates. If I'm being completely honest, I wouldn't be surprised if we lost in the first round. We're currently trailing 3-1 in the series, and yeah, Colorado is going to be taking us out in an easy series. Let's be honest, we're not ready for the bright lights yet. We have 75 overalls in the fourth line. We're not going to be able to win with that. I mean, let's put things in perspective here. We took 1 game away from the Colorado Avalanche. That's more than the Dallas Stars and Toronto Maple Maple Leafs. They swept both of those teams. We put up the second biggest fight against the Colorado Avalanche, so maybe this team's a bit better than I thought they were. Obviously, no one's putting up great numbers. We didn't do anything in that series, but Stolarz, I got to give you some credit. A 921 to 272, that's not too bad. So I had my questions about Stolarz. We know what he proved he can be the guy for us. It looks like we're going to be landing on November. It was almost July, but we're going to be sticking with November. So we'll go ahead and spin the dates wheel, and that's going to be landing on November 26th. So is November 26th going to be producing an amazing player? Well, there's very few players that actually have this birth date, and you know what? We're walking away with a superstar. There is no better option than this right here. Stick on the ice legend, Brandon Carlo. So Brandon Carlo, you are an absolute beauty, and I can't wait to bring you to this team. 86 overall, Brandon Carlo. We're winning a Stanley Cup, no question in my mind. He's going to be the difference maker, and he's going to lead us in postseason scoring. Okay, that second statement might be a complete and utter lie, but you get the point. Brandon Carlo's here to lead the team. So the boys are bound to see success now. Brandon Carlo, welcome to the team. He's going to be an absolute star for us. I think we're going to win 70 games this season. I don't see why this team right here couldn't win 70 games. Now, Brandon Carlo, how could you do this to me? How could you make our team worse? It doesn't make sense. This is Brandon Carlo we're talking about. A superstar in his own right. He should make the All-Star game this season. It's ridiculous that a guy like Brandon Carlo isn't producing for us. Offensively, the team just wasn't as good here. We weren't as good across the board. The offense wasn't as good. The defense wasn't as good. This team just wasn't as good in general. With that being said, watch this team go on some stupid run in the postseason and go 16-0 because that would make sense. Also, it seems like the West is very weak, so we have a very good shot at getting out of the West. Like Colorado missed the postseason, Dallas missed the postseason, Edmonton missed the postseason. If we're gonna win a Stanley Cup, it's got to be right here. We're gonna be taking down the Minnesota Wild and we're moving on to the second round. We have a very good shot at making it to the Stanley Cup final. So Portland's getting past the Minnesota Wild. It wasn't too big of a fight for us. And now we got the Winnipeg Jets up next. So Winnipeg's going to be the real tough task for us. But if we can get past Winnipeg, I'm really going to believe in this team. We're down 3-1. All right, definitely not the result I was looking for here, but hey, we can still make the comeback. Do I have a lot of faith in this team making the comeback? Absolutely not. But you know what? The Portland Pirates have done crazier things, and Brandon Carlo's going to pick up a third period goal just like that. Okay, was it possible for someone to backfire even more than this? Like if we lost 1-0, I can live with that. 2-0 because they picked up an empty net goal, that can happen. But 3 5-on-5 goals in the third period, no empty netters. Yeah, that was quite the statement I made. So all I can really say here is the boys choked when it mattered most. They couldn't step up in the big time games, and just like that, we're going to be eliminated in 5 games. Nathan McKinnon, Marty Necas, Cale Makar, you guys did what you could. Cale Makar, you were -4 though. You had 10 points and we're -4. That's not really a great sign for you. Stolarz, you weren't as good this postseason. Then again, you set a pretty high standard in your first postseason appearance, so I can't really expect that every single time. But with another season in the books, that means it's another spin of our 2 wheels, and it looks like this month is going to be April. Now I'm low-key looking for like April 5th, April 6th, and why is that? I have no clue. I just feel like April 5th or 6th would give us a really good player. Now we do have to remember, everything I'm saying is complete and utter speculation. I have absolutely no clue on anyone's birthday. April 12th though, honestly, this isn't the worst thing in the world, and I actually don't mind this. Bringing in a guy like Ryan Nugent-Hopkins would be very valuable to this team, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, welcome to the Portland Pirates. So Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, you're going to be a respectable addition to the team. One of my favorite players on the Edmonton Oilers, sitting at an 86 overall. Truthfully, I believe Nuge should be like an 87 overall, but that's neither here nor there. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, 86 overall. You're going to play some good second line minutes for us, because I don't care if we run all playmakers on the second line. I refuse to allow Troy Terry to play on that second line any longer. So here's what our lines are going to be looking like. Nathan McKinnon, Gabriel Landeskog, Marty Necas, Brock Besser, Nugent-Hopkins, Huberdeau on the second line, and then Troy Terry, you're being demoted to the third line. You have played terrible this entire video, so maybe you're going to pick it up on the third line, but I highly doubt it. By demoting Troy Terry to the third line, that was the difference maker. 5th in the entire league, a 49-27-6 record. This team's finally ready to win. Nugent-Hopkins might have been the difference maker, but I think it was really just moving Troy Terry down to the third line. Bro is -1. Is he the only player on this team with a negative plus-minus? Nope, there's a couple players. But why does it not surprise me that Troy Terry's going to have a negative plus-minus here? It's ridiculous. Bro continues to be a fraud. Stolarz is going to be great this season. 42 wins, 2 shouts, a 919 to 272. But the boys got to lock in. We have to show up when it matters most. But I need the Portland Pirates to absolutely lock in here. We got to win 16 games in the postseason, and it's got to start right now against Minnesota. So I need the Portland Pirates hyper locked in right now. I need them more locked in than they've ever been locked in before. We split the series with Minnesota, but we got to win game number 5. We want a chance in this series. We're allowing 6 goals. We've been really bad defensively in this series. Like, cut to the chase. Even if we get past Minnesota, we're not winning a Stanley Cup because of how bad defensively we've been. We're exchanging goals in the first period. In the second period, we're going to be picking up another 2 here. So luckily, we are going to be staying alive. But the only reason we stayed alive in this game, because of good defense. Good defense is going to win us games here. And so far, we've been very inconsistent with that. So I need one more great performance out of the Portland Pirates here. 2 goals allowed in the first period, another goal allowed in the second. We're allowing 4 goals in this game. That's going to be too much of a comeback to make. So once again, it's our bad defense. So Tampa's going to be winning the Stanley Cup here, but we don't really care who won the Stanley Cup. We just have to look at our numbers here. Offensively, we were actually pretty solid in this series. It was defense. Stolarz couldn't have been much worse for us, an 883 and a 369. No surprise we didn't get out of the first round with numbers like that. But you know what? We're going to turn things around here. We're bringing a positive attitude into this next wheel spin, and we're going to be landing on June. Now I'm guessing June 13th is going to be a star player. Are we going to get June 13th? We're getting June 24th. I don't know why I'm trying to predict birthdays. Like, there's basically no shot I'm going to get it right. When it comes to this birthday, we're going to walk away with Pierre-Luc Dubois. That's probably the best option. There is stick on the ice legend Podkolzin, but I don't really think Podkolzin's going to be helping us too much. I believe Pierre-Luc Dubois is the highest overall. So yeah, I guess that's who we're going to go with here. So Pierre-Luc Dubois is going to be our next addition. You know what? He is going to help the bottom 6 here. Our bottom 6 has so many problems. A guy like Pierre-Luc Dubois is going to make us worse. So an 83 overall, that's not too bad. So when it comes to the forward core, I'm happy to say the third line and above is all 80 overalls. Now, yeah, the fourth line's still a little bit weak here, but considering the guys we had before, this really isn't too bad. Is this going to be enough for us to win a Stanley Cup? I don't think so. I don't think Pierre-Luc Dubois is going to be the difference maker, but you really never know who's going to be. So I'm going to retract every nice thing I've ever said about Pierre-Luc Dubois because of this season and this season alone. 17th in the entire league. We're not going to bother looking at stats. As you can see, Nathan McKinnon 108 points. We're taking on the Colorado Avalanche in the first round. I'm not even turning the face cam on. That is how confident I am that we're going to get swept in this series. Now that I mentioned the word swept, we're going to sweep the Colorado Avalanche or something. Okay, never mind. I was actually correct. We are getting swept. Now, normally, I wouldn't look at the stats in a series like this because clearly we weren't that good, but I need to look at goaltending. I desperately have to look at goaltending here. Stolarz, I'm actually very surprised your goals against wasn't above 5 because you allowed 5 goals per game. You allowed 20 goals. That means you should have goals against a 5. I guess the only reason that you don't have a goals against a 5 is you did go to overtime twice. So yeah, it's going to save your averages. If you consider being below 5 goals allowed saving your average. So we tried being positive and that didn't work out. So we're just going to be negative. October's not giving us a good player. This is an absolute waste of time. We're using reverse psychology here. I know October's not giving us a good player. October 19th, we're getting an absolute bum. There is no way October 19th gives us a good player. That's not happening. There is no good players born on October 19th. There actually isn't. Calvin Peterson would have been our best option, except he didn't play this season. Alright, we have to go back to the positive mindset, because being negative certainly didn't help us. So how about this time we actually get an active NHL player? Is that what July is going to give us? Hopefully that's what it gives us. No, at this point the bar is so incredibly low. If we get an 80 overall player, I'm going to be happy. So we got ourselves July 18th. Why do I feel like we've landed on July 18th before? Well, we certainly haven't. Jamie Benn, Miro Heiskanen, those are 2 of our main options here. And which do I want? Because Miro Heiskanen would be great for our defense. And our defense is lacking quite a bit. But Jamie Benn would also help the forward core quite a bit. This is actually a tougher selection than I thought it would be. So we have 2 Dallas Stars to choose from here. We either have Jamie Benn or Miro Heiskanen. And I don't think you go wrong with either selection. But Miro Heiskanen is a 91 overall. So yeah, we're not even going to consider Jamie Benn here. Jamie Benn, what's your overall? You're only an 85. I mean, 85 overall forward isn't really that bad. But 91 overall Miro Heiskanen, yeah, that's a no-brainer. I don't even know why I was considering Jamie Benn. No disrespect to Jamie Benn, but Miro Heiskanen's the guy we need. Okay, I feel like our defense doesn't have to be touched for the rest of this video. Miro Heiskanen, Cale Makar, Brandon Carlo, Lindell, Romanov, Darren Radish. This is a good enough defense to help us win. From here on out, the only thing that we might be improving, forwards and goaltending. Forward-wise, I really don't think we're in that bad of a spot. Like, I feel like we have a good enough top 6 here. However, when it comes to goaltending, we need a better starter here. Anthony Stolarz, no disrespect, but you haven't been the guy for us. So I've accepted the belief that we're going to need 40 wheel spins in order for this team to be somewhat competitive. I mean, technically we are somewhat competitive right now, but if we even made it to the conference finals? No, we haven't. Have we put up a slight fight in the second round? No, we haven't. There is nothing notable this team has done yet. Even when it comes to goaltending, Stolarz, you were still bad. I mean, I shouldn't call you bad. You had 7 shutouts and 36 wins here. So that means give or take 20% of your wins this season were shutouts. That's not a good sign. If 20% of your wins are shutouts, that means we're not really dominating in any games. We're not controlling any of these games. We have to rely on our goaltender. We have the Winnipeg Jets Jets in the first round here, so I'm not feeling a lot of confidence. Unless Stolarz plays some of the greatest hockey we've ever seen from him, I think we could be in a tough situation here. We've dropped 2 in a row, make it 3 in a row, and you know what? Let's just make it 4 in a row and get this over with really quick. Okay, we're off to game 7. Maybe I'm doubting the team a little bit too much here, but then again, they haven't given me a lot of faith. Like, there is no reason I should have a lot of faith in this team right here. We're exchanging goals in the first period. In the second, we're taking over, but there's still lots of time for this team to choke. And in the third period, we're actually not choking. We're moving on to the second round. You're still not giving me hope here. So yeah, we made it through 1 round. We might have beaten the Winnipeg Jets, but the Minnesota Wild beat the Colorado Avalanche, and Colorado is certainly better than Winnipeg. But what am I absolutely yapping about? This is the 2025 Winnipeg Jets, and right now the Winnipeg Jets are actually better than the Colorado Avalanche, so I'm taking that statement back. Stick on the ice was making absolutely no sense with that statement right there. We split the series. We're stealing game 5. Can we steal game 6 and make it to the conference finals? Why would we make it simple? Nope, we're off to game 7 yet again here. The Minnesota Wild taking on the Portland Pirates. Portland has to show up when it matters. It's going to be a scoreless first period. In the second, it's scoreless once again. Is it going to be scoreless in the third period? No, it isn't, but we're going to be trailing by 2 goals late in the game, and we're not going to be able to make the comeback. So yet again, the boys are going to be falling. No, but seriously, what was I talking about? The Colorado Avalanche are better than the Winnipeg Jets. Winnipeg's currently ahead of them in the standings, and this is NHL 25. Winnipeg barely loses in NHL 25. Okay, without Nathan MacKinnon, we're definitely not getting past the Winnipeg Jets. This team was not good once again. Stolarz, bad numbers, but you know what? They have been worse. Look at last postseason. So let's just do something that we've become very comfortable with, spinning the wheel of birthdays. Because yeah, that's basically where we're at. November's going to be selected once again here. Now we just have to get a date. Now I don't really know what date I want here. Maybe the 24th will give us a stud, but I'm not really too sure. I feel like in the future when I do videos like this, I should do a little bit of research so I have an idea of what the good birthdays are. Like we just got November 24th. I couldn't tell you if we just got Connor McDavid or not. Okay, we got Jeremy Swayman. That's basically the equivalent of a Connor McDavid. Not really, but I mean, we're getting a massive upgrade in net. So is this the difference maker right here? Jeremy Swayman, 87 overall. That's a decent upgrade in net for us. It's a 3 overall jump than what we had before. And Jeremy Swayman, I believe he has some X factors. Does that affect the simulation? I have no clue, but Jeremy Swayman's definitely a goaltender I'd like to have. So not too long ago, I said the defense was set for this team. Now I believe the goaltending is set. So from here on out, the only thing that we're going to be improving is the forward core. And truthfully, until we improve that forward core, I don't see this team winning, even with Jeremy Swayman in net. Also, can we give Stick on the Ice a little bit of credit here? Recently, I've been saying in net instead of in between the pipes. So yeah, you don't have to listen to me say in between the pipes constantly. You're just going to listen to me say in net constantly. Okay, now this season really confuses me. We were 4th in the entire league, a 49, 26, and 7 record. So clearly Jeremy Swayman helped this team. But Nathan MacKinnon, how'd you lead the way with only 86 points? How was 86 points our top scorer here? Just want to point out Troy Terry, yet again, a negative plus minus. How many players had negative plus minus on this team? A couple, but one of them was Troy Terry. Brandon Carlo, obviously you're held to a way bigger standard than Troy Terry, so you being -4 actually hurts me a lot more because I expect Troy Terry to be bad. I expect you to be a superstar. Goaltending wise, Jeremy Swayman, really good this season. 36 wins, 2 shots, a 911 and a 281. Stolarz as the backup, significantly better, so maybe that's just his role on this team. Maybe he has to be the backup. We're taking on the Winnipeg Jets, but unless we can string 8 wins together, we're not going to be winning a Stanley Cup, because first we have to win 4 games, then we have to win 8 games, then we have to win 12 games, then 16. Right now, we can barely win 8. So how about we just focus on getting out of the first round? Let's focus on getting out of the first round, then we'll focus on getting out of the second round. We have a 3-1 series lead. Winnipeg can't really compete with us right now. We're going to be taking them down, and you know what? Jeremy Swayman's been elite, and since he's been so elite, we can't stop here. We have to build on that momentum. We have the Colorado Avalanche up next. So Colorado's going to be the next team we have to take on here. We're going to be starting it off with a shutout. Yeah, Portland's winning this season. I think the Portland Pirates have finally figured it out. After years of constant disappointment, the team's rolling on all cylinders. Goaltending has been the massive difference maker here, and with Jeremy Swayman playing at the top of his game, there's no way anyone's going to beat us. We have Calgary on the brink of elimination, and now we're taking them down. We're in the Stanley Cup final. We have one more team to take down, and it has to be the Pittsburgh Penguins. We're going to beat the Pittsburgh Penguins, and then we're going to be Stanley Cup champions. We split the series with Pittsburgh. Game 5 is going to be a massive one, so we're jumping into it. Game 5 is such a big game here that we have to jump into it. We have to steal this game away from Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh's absolutely dominating this one. All right, we're facing elimination right now. We finally made it to the Stanley Cup final, only for us to lose to the Pittsburgh Penguins. I don't know what's happened to our amazing defense, but it's completely collapsed on me, but we still have a chance in this series. We just have to steal game 6 away. Unless you guys steal game 6, we're going to be eliminated. I need a massive third period. Troy Terry, it's time for you to finally show up when it matters. Troy Terry, score a goal in overtime here. Troy Terry, this is all your fault. It's It's your fault because you didn't step up in these big moments. Is it only Troy Terry's fault? No, but we're putting all the blame on Troy Terry. Troy Terry's the scapegoat for this team, but he was our third best player in the postseason. Alright, I guess I can't throw Troy Terry under the bus here. Jeremy Swayman, you were pretty solid up until those final 2 games. In the final 2 games, you allowed 10 goals. You had 40 goals allowed entering those final 2 games. No, that's crazy. You allowed 20% of your goals in a 2-game span. Yeah, I don't know what to say about that. No, like bro really said, I'm going to be the best goaltender in the postseason, only to allow 20% of his goals in a 2-game span. How does that happen? Like, if he continued to play the way he was playing, we win this series, we're Stanley Cup champs. Instead, we're still selecting players based on their birth date. So what is August 29th going to be giving us? Nothing. Like, literally nothing. Let's spin the wheels again. No, like, we're really getting birth dates that can't even give us players. We got December. Let's see what December's gonna give us. I feel like December and January are the 2 best months to get. If you're getting December or January, more than likely you're walking away with a good player. I guess we're about to find out if this logic is true or not. We got December 8th, and is December 8th gonna give us a notable player? Well, I guess we're about to find out. There's only 18 players born on December 8th, so that's not a great sign. One of them is Thatcher Demko, though. Another is Matthias Janmark, another is Drew Doughty. Now, you have to understand this selection. Matthias Janmark would actually be good for the bottom 6. Drew Doughty would help our defense. We don't really need to help the defense, so Matthias Janmark makes the most sense. But then there's Thatcher Demko. We're selecting Thatcher Demko. Okay, so Thatcher Demko, this is objectively the wrong decision. Like, I shouldn't bring Thatcher Demko to the team here, but we are. 91 overall Thatcher Demko. You're the new starter here. Jeremy Swayman's going to be the backup. I have watched what Thatcher Demko has done in tons of videos. We need this guy on our team. So Thatcher Demko, you're the savior for this team. I thought it was going to be Jeremy Swayman, but nope. Thatcher Demko is going to be the savior. It's a 4 overall jump when it comes to the goaltending department. Is bringing in a goaltender really the smartest move when we could have gotten Drew Doughty? Absolutely not. But this is Thatcher Demko we're talking about, and I'd rather make the wrong decision just to bring Thatcher Demko to the team. So doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result is the definition of insanity. So with that being said, we gotta change things up. Portland's 3rd in the entire league. Nathan McKinnon led the way like usual. Marty Necas, Cale Makar, they're the big time players on this team. Goaltending wise, Thatcher Demko, you were amazing this season. We are simulating the entire postseason in one take. The Winnipeg Jets, that's who we're taking on the first round. No face cam, the entire postseason in one take. We're gonna win. We have to try different things here. Everything we have done in the past hasn't worked out for us, and you know what? This seems to be a great start for us so far. We're sweeping the Winnipeg Jets. We're moving on to the second round, and now we have the Dallas Stars. They are scoring 6 goals in game number 1, but who cares about that because we're responding in 4 straight games. Moving on to the conference finals, we got the Vancouver Canucks up next. We are dominating Vancouver. We have the Tampa Bay Lightning to finish this off, and are we going to beat the Tampa Bay Lightning? Yes, we are. We should have did this from the very beginning. Why didn't I do this a long time ago? No, we went 16-3 in the postseason. This team really just went 16-3. Nathan McKinnon, 26 points. Marty Necas, 23. Cale Makar, 18. We were amazing. Kawhi Yamamoto was our 5th highest scorer with 14 points. He played on the 4th line. Everybody on this team was incredible, including Thatcher Demko. 16 wins, 3 shouts, a 938 and a 196. This is exactly why I brought Thatcher Demko to the team. You guys thought I was crazy. You said, oh, stick on the ice. Why are you bringing Thatcher Demko to the team? That doesn't make sense. Drew Doughty would help your team way more. Clearly, you do not know NHL 25 Thatcher Demko, because this man is a different beast. He is built different. He is the GOAT. He is the greatest goaltender of all time in NHL 25. If made to the end of the video, of course, comment Thatcher Demko. No, I have no clue how he did that. Bro's really him.